Did you know that the Mexican holiday of El Diez de los Muertos has no relation at all to our holiday of Halloween, and that it is actually a celebration? Today, I will be giving an informative speech on El Diez de los Muertos, which is a holiday that is celebrated mainly in Mexico. In high school, I took 3 years of Spanish, and every year in Spanish class, when it came close to the time of the celebration, we would do a lesson on El Diez de los Muertos. This was always such a fun lesson for the whole class. It intrigued me so much, and I loved learning about it. It is always important to be culturally diverse, and by learning more about El Diez de los Muertos, you can expand your knowledge on the Mexican culture and learn some new fascinating things. In this informative speech, I'll be going over what exactly is El Diez de los Muertos, its history and how it started, and some festivities that occur. Let's start off with what exactly is El Diez de los Muertos. Well, El Diez de los Muertos directly translates to Day of the Dead. This is a celebration where families prepare for their deceased loved ones to come back down from heaven and celebrate with them. This celebration occurs during the span of 2 days. It'll start on October 31st at midnight and be celebrated until November 2nd. In her 2017 article, What's El Diez de los Muertos? It's Not Scary and It's Not Halloween, Christina Puga from NBC News talks about how those who celebrate El Diez de los Muertos believe that on October 31st at midnight, the souls of the past children come down from heaven and reunite with their families and friends on November 1st. Then, on November 2nd, all the souls of the past adults come down from heaven and reunite with their families and loved ones. In order to prepare for this unitation with the past souls and families will create these big, decorative, bright altars. They will either create these altars in their homes or at the cemetery. These altars include photographs of the deceased, their favorite foods, crosses, candles, flowers, sugar skulls, papel picado, their favorite alcohol, and more. They will then bring the celebration to the cemetery, where they will bring picnics and celebrate all together. They will have music, their picnics, costumes, parades, and so much. El Diez de los Muertos is so important to those who celebrate it because it is the only 2 days out of the entire year that their loved ones' souls will come back down from heaven to earth. The reason why they have these big, bright, decorative altars is because they want their loved ones' souls to feel welcomed coming back. They want them to feel as honored guests in this time of celebration where they will feast, drink, listen to music, and celebrate. Now that we know more about what El Diez de los Muertos is, let's move on to the history and how it started. El Diez de los Muertos stems from an event that happened over 3,000 years ago. In the 2018 article, Day of the Dead, El Diez de los Muertos, History.com's editors explain that Diez de los Muertos stems from rituals honoring the dead performed by the Aztecs and Nuana people over 3,000 years ago in what is now Central America. Aztecs believed that there were 9 levels that someone whose past soul went through. These 9 levels were treacherous and would take several years before they would get to the final resting stage. In these rituals, the Aztec people would put out food, water, and tools for their loved ones' souls in order to help them through this journey. This is one event that inspired El Diez de los Muertos. Another event that inspired El Diez de los Muertos is medieval Spain. In medieval Spain, people would bring wine and spirit bread to their deceased loved ones' altars on All Souls' Day. They would decorate these altars with candles and flowers, and the reason why they did this was so that they could light the way from heaven to earth for their loved ones' souls to come back down. In the 16th century, the Spanish conquistadors brought this traditional holiday over to the New World. Now that we have learned about the history of El Diez de los Muertos and how it started, let's move on to some of the festivities that occurred during this holiday. There are a number of festivities that happen during the celebration. There's parades, dancing, costumes, music, and so much more. Throughout this whole holiday, there will be music playing, people dancing, parades happening, and this music will be playing loudly. It is believed that this music is played loud to keep the souls focused in this celebration. In his 2017 article titled Top 10 Things to Know About the Day of the Dead, Logan Ward from National Geographic talks about how people celebrating dress up as skeletons, have their face painted to resemble skulls, and dress in fancy dresses and suits. People who celebrate will have costumes on, their face painted, and they will do this in respect to the ones who have passed. Now, El Dia de los Muertos is a fun and traditional holiday celebrated by people mainly in Mexico and of Mexican heritage. Today, in this informative presentation, I went over what exactly El Dia de los Muertos was, its significance, how it is important to those who celebrate it, the history, and some of the festivities that happen during this time of celebration. Now, next Halloween, I encourage you to acknowledge the difference between El Dia de los Muertos and Halloween, and notice how they are completely different, and acknowledge the Mexican culture's way of celebrating their past loved ones. Thank you.